Good evening, everyone. This session is about open house in particular, and I just want to make it quick, easy, but also interactive. So when you have questions, please let me know. Let's make it as easy as we can. It's Wednesday evening. My name is Alex Stemate. I'm serving as Club Growth Director this year, and it is my pleasure to give you an insight into what is an open house. If I can get your help, Vijay, if we have comments in the chat, you can always maybe make a mention and let us know what's going on in the chat so I can go through the slides.
Sure.
First of all, what is an open house? I'm not going to go through all that text that I have there, but I want you all to focus on one part. An open house is an invitation to showcase the benefits of Toastmasters. Now, everyone in the room has already been to Toastmasters and knows why it's so important to join a meeting and to continue to be a member. But there are so many people out there who have no idea what is Toastmasters and how Toastmasters can help people improve their public speaking, but also become better leaders. So the main point of running an open house is to showcase the benefits of Toastmasters. Why should you do it? You should do it if your club or a club in your area, if you're an area director, if they're struggling to get members. But you should also consider an open house if you want to start a new club. It's different than a demo meeting, so we're not even going to talk about demo meetings. Let's focus on open house specifically. Yes, you can do an open house in the idea of creating a new club. But what if you're an area director and you're supporting multiple clubs? Can you do that? Yes, you can also run an open house as an area director to support multiple or neighboring clubs. And what if you're doing well? Should you still run an open house? Yes. Why? Because it doesn't matter if you already have the number of members that you need. It matters how else can you improve it? How can you showcase what they have gone through and what others can experience if they were part, if not of your club, if they were part of another Toastmasters club. So it is very important to run an open house at any level that you're at with your club. Let's go through some steps of organizing an open house. First of all, I want to think of these steps in a few pillars. Number one, you have to plan in advance. What does planning in advance mean, or how can you even think of it before you go into the session itself? Have a chat or discussion, whatever you want to call it, a coffee cup, anything, with your executive members and ask questions such as, what is the best time for us to do an open house? Is it right before renewals because we may struggle to get our numbers up? Or is it perhaps after renewals because we secured the members and now we need to showcase? Also ask yourself, what is the goal of having an open house? And I think this is one of the questions that I've asked multiple people who told me, I want to run an open house. The first question that I have is, why do you want to run an open house? What do you want to achieve? Do you want to achieve member increase, or do you want to achieve quality showcase? Anything that you want to go through must be in line with your initial plan. Then you have to think of the date. As soon as you have secured the date, you will have to inform me because I can help. First, I can help with ideas, marketing, or putting you in touch with other people in your area, or simply supporting with whatever you're planning for the session. But also, I can connect you with volunteers. So it's important to let me know if you do run an open house. And the last step, what do you do once you have everything? You have the day or the night of your open house. Make sure that you keep it really smooth and simple. What I mean by this is really, it's not your usual Toastmasters meeting where you have a Hackmaster, when you have um, a grammarian. You have to keep it as simple as you can so that people get the exact benefit. What does that mean? You have a great speaker, that's what they want to see. How do I become a great speaker like the one that I've just seen? Do you have a table topic master? Well, that's the time for the table topic master to ask questions to your guest in particular. But more importantly is your timeline. If you secured your date, you have to work backwards from that. 2 weeks would be good, but I recommend 3 to 4 weeks before your open house. Why? You need volunteers to run the session, to speak, to evaluate everything that is related to that night. You need volunteers. And actually, I was just talking to someone before the session. It's even better if you don't include all of your club members so that your club members can focus on guests and networking. So, really important to give that notice. But the notice that you give to yourself is even more important when it comes to marketing. Because if you plan your open house in a week's time, people won't even have time to think about it. Maybe they have other plans, but if you give them notice that they need, they will make it. Another thing to consider is the LAM or local area marketing. While from district point of view, we will help you with marketing on social media, Facebook, whatever that means for you. We can also support you with flyers, physical flyers, so that you can do local area marketing. Why? Because people in your area are more likely to join your event than someone who is 30, 40, 50 kilometers away from you. So it's important to think different ways. How can you run the meeting itself? This is another question that I got multiple times, and I thought I'm going to put both options because first, I really think that both of them work. But second, it's good for you to have that in mind so you can plan it with your audience in mind. So it's not even about us at some point, it's more about the guests that come across. Option number one, bring all your A+ students, bring everyone who is doing very well in the club, and we call that all pros or all professionals. The speakers will be the greatest speaker, the greatest evaluators, everyone who has maybe level 4 or level 5 already under their belt, and they could even present an educational. If they don't know what educational to present, obviously we have in Toastmasters better speaker series and even leadership excellence. These projects are usually 10, 15, and even 20 minutes. So you can have some really good quality material to present. And then you must have table topics. Table topics are your first engagement to your guest, with your guest, and table topics should be presented by someone who knows how to present table topics, who is prepared with really good, easy, but thought-provoking questions, and they can showcase the strength and the quality of your club. Now, option number 2 is really for having a mix. This mix will give your audience the idea of, oh, I'm at this level, so maybe I'm not the most confident speaker, but I can go to that level. What does that mean? It means that you can have someone who just joined your club present a speech, and you can also have someone who's maybe won competitions to present a speech. And that gives the audience an alternative and even an idea of if someone was there but can reach there, as in a winner of competition, then maybe this club or this Toastmasters, whatever Toastmasters they think it is, it's for me. You can keep the educational as optional if you choose the combination because you would have already alternatives for your guests. Again, table topics must. You can't skip table topics in either of these meetings. And why is it a good idea to have a combination? Because it makes your audience feel very comfortable. No matter where they're at, they know they can be a part of Toastmasters as well. Are there any questions?
There's a question in the chat. Are we getting the copy of the slide packs?
For sure. I'll send a copy of the slide back to everyone who registered online.
Nice.
All right, we're going now through a checklist. I admitted someone in. So in terms of the checklist, I thought let's plan this into 3 phases for you to maybe make it a bit more digestible. Phase number 1, you plan and set up, and that is first email me and the PRM so you can get a kit. Is there a kit for open house? Yes. We can offer you some materials that you can either put in a letterbox or in your community halls, or we can create a post for your social media, either Facebook, Instagram, or LinkedIn, depending on your audience. What else fits into your phase 1? Your confirmation of agenda, location, and volunteers. And then you have to create this event in D73 calendar. I know that this is probably something new for most of you because maybe you don't have to plan a lot of events in Toastmasters, but if you do, it's super simple. Once you go to calendar, click on create or edit an event, and then just follow the form. It's important to ask for a try booking link. Why? Because this way you have a list of everyone who signed up for your open house, and then you can email them regardless if they make it to the meeting or not. If they make it to the meeting, you can send something back saying thank you for joining. If they haven't, you can give them another chance to join your club as a guest or as a member. It's also important in case you serve food to know what type of food you want to arrange for, of course. Phase 2, my favorite, promote and attract. Why is it my favorite? Because this is something exciting. This is where you can get a bit more creative. You can use your Meetup if your club has a Meetup account. You can use Eventbrite if they have. If not, you can always ask us, the district, to help you with this promotion. So you don't have to say, my club doesn't have a Meetup account. It's okay. We can help with that. And you can also publish in your local libraries, cafes, or even office buildings if that's where your club meets. The idea with local area marketing is really to know your audience. For example, if you want to target businesses, you may not find them all at a library somewhere in the suburbs, but if you know there is an office building in that area, you can even go to the reception and drop something. So it's more about the willingness to advertise and knowing your audience. Just like Toastmasters tell us all the time, know your audience. You can also ask me for some more things to give to your guests, such as pens or flyers or any giveaways that I may have. And I do have a tub from Brett, so don't worry about that. There's a lot to give you. But you can also ask me about those master badges. Have anyone seen that? Yep, some of you have. So these badges will make your members more visible, but also the knowledgeable people in the room. So once you have guests and they have no idea what's going on, someone with that badge will give your guests the confidence that they know what they're talking about. And obviously, they will tell them everything about those masters from their experience, which is also such a good touch. Then we move on to phase 3 and the last phase. Gather your volunteers. It's really important that you have your volunteers set up and locked in, and your speakers as well. Create your agenda. In terms of the agenda format, it's really just like a normal agenda. I can also, when I send you back the slide pack, I can send you an empty form of it, so you can use it, not a problem. But eventually, it's a normal club agenda, except that it will not have every single role that a normal club meeting will have. Then send an email to all attendees confirming the agenda, the time, and the location. What else does this do? This creates trust with everyone who signed up for the event. You can always skip it, but if you skip it, they will have the idea that maybe they don't know where they're going. If you send them anything, if you send your attendees any sort of message to let them know that you know they're coming, that will create a bridge of trust, if you want to call it, where they know that someone is expecting them to be there. So always send that email to your attendees. And organize any sort of giveaways for your guests. You can use some best table topic ribbons from your club. You can also use some raffle tickets. You can maybe, if you have any sort of Toastmasters, I can perhaps help with that. But if there is any Toastmasters merch that you want to give to someone who's going above and beyond and their guest, it's always good to engage them fully in the meeting. How does this sound so far?
Sounds good. And there's a question John is asking, was there a Q&A session at the end?
Yes. Yes, John, there will be a Q&A question. And I also have a session where I ask everyone in the call to give me their inputs because I know that some of you have already organized an open house. So what I share now is one side of it, but I want to really know what else has worked. How else would you see it happening? So we'll definitely have a Q&A.
Sorry, Alex, it's Kayleen and I'm
Hi,
driving.
Kelly. Hello.
The question wasn't, is there a Q&A at the end of this session? It was about a Q&A session on the agenda for the open house. Because if you've got the visitors there, if you've got all these new people there, it's really good to have a short session where they can freely ask questions.
Yes.
In that environment as well. Of course, you ask afterwards as well, and you've got people that can answer questions, but on the agenda, it works good having it there. So
Yeah.
you can go back on mute now.
Thank you. Thank you for your input, John and Kayleen. Yes, they're obviously adding a Q&A section in the session itself is a great idea. I didn't think of it as Q&A, but I did go here and I said, if I were to break down your meeting into maybe minutes and how to go through each part of your evening, how would I do it? First of all, you would have your welcome and registration, usually done by Sergeant at Arms, but because this is an open house, the Toastmasters can also take this role, so you don't have to really split this particular role. 5 minutes, even less than 5 minutes. Then open your meeting with expectations, welcome everyone, but also you can do an introduction to Toastmasters. This is actually a PowerPoint slide that is already created for you in Toastmasters. I can attach it again to everyone who's joining. You don't have to do anything, you just have to speak to the slides, really. But it gives you an overview of how large Toastmasters is, what it has done in the past, and the impact that it has globally. Then you can go into your prepared speeches. Again, it can be 15 to 20 minutes, depends on what type of speakers you have, what types of projects they have. And this can be at your own discretion. If you go into speech evaluations, what I really recommend is that your speech evaluators get very familiar with the speakers. What I would like to see in an open house is the evaluator introducing the speaker with a bit of an introduction about the speaker background and also their projects and everything that they want to focus on for the day. That gives a different level of familiarity to the audience, but also the connection that we build between the speaker and the evaluator. And then you can have your session of table topics. On table topics, I'm very specific on making it easy and thought-provoking. The moment you say your table topic as an introduction, a body, and then a question that has either or, what would you rather, that will make it a bit harder for people to answer. So it's good to have them one-liner, maybe even a bit longer question, but something that they can easily understand so they can get straight into their answer. Then what again, you will have to have evaluators for table topics as well, and I do recommend good evaluators so that the guest gets something out of it immediately. On your networking break, you can do this either in between, so after your table topics and just before your other evaluations, or at the end. I'm not going to tell you which one to do because I think you need to do it on your own and figure out what works for you. But the networking session should be pretty long. So this is not your usual break in a meeting. The reason why it's really long is because you want them to ask questions, as many as possible. You want your members to get to know your guest, and you want the guests to feel like they're welcome in that community, in that club. So it's really important to make the networking part either a long break or keep it at the end of the session. Get your VPM to talk about how to join. Now, if you're doing an open house with multiple clubs, you can even ask each club to come with an elevator pitch. If I'm not mistaken, I'm going to go into that as well. But it's important that the VPM has a section when they tell them how to join. You can do voting and awards. This is also optional. Like I said, for me, it's important that your guest will walk away with something from that night, either a pen, a ribbon, or anything that they say, oh, I've been here and I won this. But if you don't want to do that, you can even print certificates. So anything works as long as they have a token of appreciation of being there. And then you can close and thank you with either another Q&A, like Kayleen just mentioned, or you can simply recap everything that has happened there and do a call to action on how to join a club. Yes? Okay. Now, if you run an area open house, let's say you have 4 or 5 clubs in your area and you decide to do an area open house, you will have to get every club to buy in. But by buy in, I mean give you a volunteer, someone who can either present a speech or do an evaluation. Also, for them to have that elevator pitch. When it comes to elevator pitch, I think it's important to leave it to you and to your clubs to make it as creative as they want. But think of, why should they join your club? What is so special about your club? Is there something about the culture, or is it thematic? Is there something special that people can get out of your club, but not other clubs? Because what we all do, we follow a very similar structure. So in terms of the structure, every guest will get the same from every club. So then you may want to say, well, if Thursdays are better for you, this is when my club meets. Or if you're really into movies, we always have a theme that aligns with movies and, I don't know, anime. So it's important to speak to your audience from your point of view so you can get the right audience on your side and the right guests. Okay. This is my last slide before we go into Q&A. Sorry, I just came from a competition yesterday. So before we go into Q&A and into asking you for your own feedback with open houses, just wanted to go through everything that we talked. What is an open house? Really very important to remember. It's a meeting to showcase the value of Toastmasters. It can be at your club meeting, not a problem if you do it during your club meetings. It's just you have to streamline it in a way that you strip off all those roles that are not necessary in a showcase meeting. Why should you do it? There are so many reasons why you should do it, but some of them would be, first, to bring more members in. Second, maybe you want to create a new club. Third, if you're doing very well, you might want to show off that this is what a great club does. You have to plan ahead. The best case scenario would be if you give yourself and your volunteers 3 to 4 weeks, so that this way we can use marketing to support you. We can also have time to make sure that everyone shows up. You can secure a location. But if you're really in a hurry, you can do also 2 weeks. I really do not recommend anything less than 2 weeks for notice on planning an open house. The format, you can go with any option, either pick all your best speakers or pick a good mix from people who have just joined Toastmasters to people who have won different competitions. I have given you the checklist, but really think about it in 3 ways. You plan and set up, you promote and attract, and then you prepare and deliver. And lastly, but probably one of the most important things in running an open house, get support. When I say get support, you can lean on your network, either clubs that are neighboring to you, or the community, or us from district, or your area director. The idea is there are many options that you can go through or pick from. The most important part is for you to say, yes, I will do an open house and this is the date. Now that I am done with my part, I am very curious to know who has done an open house from everyone online. No one? Okay. I think I know at least someone who has done, but perhaps he left already. Did Vijay leave us? Yep. And Joe? No, not yet. Okay, I have run an open house with Kaylin has. Thank you, Kaylin. If only she wasn't driving. So for everyone who has done yet, actually, I'm gonna go with everyone who said I have not done one yet. After you've listened to what I said, how do you feel about an open house? What do you think is easy to do, and what could be challenging for you?
Hello, everybody. My name is Jason. I'm VPM from Albury-Wodonga.
Hi, Jason.
Hi, Alex. How are you? The Albury-Wodonga Toastmasters group took on this past year a Youth Voices competition in our community, and it was very successful for us in conjunction with Rotary Club of Albury. Now, I see the connection between the Youth Voices and also the open house. I think it's similar. Organization is similar. The plan, the event, what you said, secure the date and the time, day or night, and marketing and all of those things. As a immediate past president, it was something that I wanted to do last year, but wasn't able to complete on that. So it's something that, as a club, we're looking at this year.
Yep.
And I'm all about community. So to get Toastmasters out in the community, and I know Matt Anderson, our area director, is also in the room tonight. So it's something that I know I'm interested in, and he
Yep.
may be too. Thank you.
Yep. Thank you for sharing, Jason. And I'm very happy that you're already doing different projects. There are a few comments that I wanted to take note of. First, if you organize an open house, it could be done as a project. Thank you, John, for this reminder. Yes, if you're going through your pathways and you're looking for a project to complete, you can easily use an open house as an option for you to complete a project. What else does an open house give you? It gives you that opportunity of really creating something from the scratch, and it helps you plan as a project manager, to be honest, because the moment you say I'm going, which is obviously not a normal meeting, the moment you say I'm going to do an open house, you have to think about it from your audience point of view. In a meeting, you usually think about it from my members' point of view. This time you're thinking of that person who steps in or through your doors. What do I expect them to see, or what would I like them to take away from this? What if it's a DTM project? Yes, I think a DTM project, and maybe because I know I have Kaylin as well listening, I think a DTM project is a project. So as long as it's done as a project, I think it's okay. You just have to do 2 speeches about it in the club. Is that right, John or Kaylin?
That's correct, Alex. The idea with the DTM project, it's about doing something that's going to better the organisation. So doing an open house is going to attract people into the organisation. I would definitely You do your 2 speeches at the start and the end. I would definitely lead it as a project, have a team around me as well. Maybe delegate the PR to somebody, the catering to someone, so that you're leading a team as well. But yeah, good idea. HPL as well would be another good one that you could use for it, and manage a successful project would be another one, level 4 project.
Yep. Thank you, Kaylin. So you can use it for your DTM project. And because Kaylin mentioned about having a team of people, by default, I recommend that you have a team of people to deliver an open house, because it's not a one person's job, and it shouldn't be a one person's job. First, it's a club that could do this. And if you don't have enough people in your club, let's say you only have 10, let's say you only have 10 members in the club, and that's the reason why you want to create an open house, so you can get more members. In this scenario, what I recommend is reaching out to other clubs for speakers. This way they can also put their speeches through, but your members can focus on networking with guests so that you can convert them into members. Yep. Thank you, Graham. HPL is a high performing leadership project. Any other question? Karen, I know that you wanted to join this session and you wanted to find out more. Is there something from the session that came out for you?
No, I think there's just a lot of, I've got some of the club here tonight, and I think we just need to go away and really think about it, because we are a hybrid club.
Yep.
I think we now have 10 members. We've got a new member who signed up, so we only just have 10
Congratulations.
members. Thank you. Yeah, I was happy.
I am happy too.
Yeah. So, and we've got some visitors coming next week as well. So
Yep.
I think it's just a matter of us thinking about what we can do with our 10 people, whether we do,
Yep.
because being a hybrid, whether we run the open house as a hybrid or just an in-person event as well. Because if we run it just as an in-person event, then we're losing some of the members automatically because they're only hybrid. So yeah, I just think there's just a lot to discuss, but I think this has given us a really good pointers. And I was thinking we'd have it in August. Now I'm beginning to think probably September.
August is not too bad, by the way, as long as you think about it as end of August, because you would need some marketing to go through, and you do need to get very clear on what you want to achieve with this. Is it for members to join your hybrid club? Because then you speak to a hybrid community. Or do you want to make a decision as a club to go either hybrid or online or in person? So it's more about getting very clear. And from my experience, sometimes it's a bit uncomfortable to sit together and say, what do we do? Do we go this way or that way? But these are the questions that will give you the right attitude on building this. Yeah.
Thank you.
New member as of today. Now we are 10. Congratulations, Ginny. All right, Stephen, you were one of the 12 people in the picture. How do you feel now about running an open house?
Which picture was it?
The
The
picture
volunteers.
of yes.
Yes. Oh, I'm very positive. I just haven't done it before. My plan is to do it with my area, because I have a couple of clubs that are low in membership. And I have a couple of clubs that have too many members. So I figured, let's get them together into a room, see if we can find new members, and if we can bring some energy into the Docklands.
Yeah, no, that's beautiful. And I think the fact that you already know that you have some that are doing great and some that are struggling, but you can see that connecting point. I think that's something that an area director needs to be aware of the moment they step into an area. And yeah, you have the right mindset here. So if you need anything from me, of course, reach out anytime.
Oh, I will. And I know I will need some help, or advice at least.
Yeah.
Thank you for asking.
Thank you. Okay, I know we have some more people from South Australia. I'm not going to call names right now because maybe you're joining from on your commute home. But if anyone wants to add something, I'm very keen to hear more opinions. I am very comfortable with silent, by the way. All right. Then I think I'm happy with what we shared. I will give you one more point. If you need financial support for your club to run an open house, we can support. There are, of course, a few ways to help you with that, and they're not for your usual meeting, for example, or they're not for your food delivery. They're more to support your marketing materials. They are more to support with getting people together, whatever that means. So if you need some pins, like I said, or pens, that could be something that I can help you from a district perspective, but it will be on case by case basis, and of course looking at what you want to achieve out of an open house. So if there was to be an advice for you before we finish this, make sure you get as clear as you can on what you want to achieve with an open house. And I promise you, once you have that clarity, it's just gonna be probably once every 3 months you're gonna run an open house, because it's fun to get together for a networking purpose rather than for your usual meeting purpose. I have a question from Matt. I'm curious, what is the preferred number of volunteers? That's a great question, Matt. So think about it from a point of view of who's going to run the meeting. That's your Toastmaster, who's going to have speeches. And while they are speakers, they are also volunteers. So at least 2, I recommend. And then you have to have at least 4 evaluators. The evaluators, they can be the same. So if you don't have enough volunteers, it's okay to use the same evaluators for speakers and for table topics, but it's always great to have a variety, because you know how important skills are in evaluations, and you know how everyone has a different way to evaluate. So your guest will get so much more from 4 evaluators than from 2. And then you will need a timer, because one of the things that you will be teaching your guest is that you need to stick to time in Toastmasters, and it's such a valuable skill, especially, I don't know how many of you work in a corporate environment where people just go on and on without a timing light. Sometimes you just feel like bringing your timer light from Toastmasters. So yes, I would say maybe 6 people at least, but the more the better. Robin, you have your hand up. Do you have a question?
Yes, thanks, Alex. I do have a question. Look, this is all fairly new to me. I know there's been a few open houses run, and I'm aware at the beginning they were done in the Dockland, sort of around corporate type ones. So my question is really about ones for community clubs. I'm thinking of one of my clubs specifically, Kingston Communicators in Mentone. I think we've got a good venue and we could do with growing our membership there.
Yeah.
For the area contests or community ones, are you aware, like, do people generally hold them in the evenings, or does it vary? What works and has been successful? Do you know?
That's a great question. To be honest, nobody came to me and told me that this is what works and this is what doesn't work. But I have my own idea,
Okay.
so I can share from my point of view. But of course, if anyone else has ideas after, that's great. So from my point of view, it's usually better on an evening. Why? Because people would naturally look for something to do. Now, if I think of your suburb, unfortunately, I don't know exactly where it is, but what do you know about the people in your community? Do they usually are stay-at-home families, or do they go to work in the city, or do they go to work in the community? Because this also matters. That's why I always say know your audience. If your area it's usually filled with people who have a mix, they might just want to do something different during the evening. So if it's filled with meetings and family, maybe that's the time for them to step away from everything and invest in themselves. So I would say evenings are one of the best opportunities for open house, and the other one would be a weekend day, but not a Sunday. So Saturday, somewhere around 10:30, 11 a.m., but again, with a lot of marketing and with telling people what's going on in your area. And I know that some areas or some suburbs, they even have a Facebook group for that suburb. So get to know where else you can share the information that there is an open house, that there is a Toastmasters club, and that's how you get more people. That's how I see it. If anyone wants to share their view on whether it's better on a weekday or a weekend day, I'm happy to listen.
Thank you.
Yep. So someone said in the chat that there are up and coming businesses where folks won't be available from 9 to 5. Retirees may have more free times, but it depends on the area. Yep. So it's very important to also, I don't know how often you go to a library, but I sometimes do. So if you do go to a library, maybe ask, is there a notice board where I can leave something for you to know that I'm working on this club or I'm going to have an open house? It's very important for people to come along and then send it to them. When I went to South Australia, what I've done is I sent emails to all the libraries. I just said, hey, I'm coming to South Australia. This is what we're going to do. Can you help me share this information? It's just an email. Nobody's going to say no to it.
Okay, all good ideas. Thank you very much.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you, Robin. Love the question. Okay. I have 2 more minutes. Why? Because I really want to stick to time. So anyone else wants to ask a question in these 2 minutes? That's a no. Okay. Well, any do not do's. Yeah, if you want to read between the lines, Matt, don't overcrowd your meeting. An open house is not meant to be your usual meeting. So the first do not do is don't bring a hack master. Don't bring someone who's just gonna or the grammarian. You can, in your evaluation, you can add, hey, you've used a lot of filler words, which is something that in a normal meeting we look at. But for today's purpose, just want to make you aware that you're using a lot of filler words. So don't bring every single role that you have in a normal meeting because you want to focus on the value itself. And then when they join a club or when they join your club, then they can see what else is there for them. And don't give too short of a notice to people because we all need to make sure that it works. So anything from 3 weeks to 4 weeks will be great. Well, thank you everyone for joining. I will be sending you the PowerPoint. And if you have any questions, if you don't know where to reach me, I'm at CGD at D73 Toastmasters. Please reach out anytime. I think I'm fairly responsive, and if people are in the room, they can definitely vouch for that. But yeah, more than happy to see who's going to be the first one to run an open house. I'm going to make a special post for you if you do it. More fun than I expected. Okay, thank you. I don't know what you expected. All right, thank you, everyone.